Hello everyone, Simon here with a review of Jessika. Jessika is an investigative FMV adventure game that's available on PC. If you've played games like Her Story, Telling Lies, and The Infectious Madness of Dr. Decker, then you'll be right at home here because it follows a very similar trait. But because these games are few and far between, I'll explain kind of how Jessika works and why this intrigued me and sent me off on some really interesting narrative points that I just didn't see coming. Jessika sees you playing the role of a staff member that works on a digital footprint processing unit. You are sent the digital footprints of people who have died, and you are sent the file of Jessika by her father because Jessika's committed suicide and he would like to find out more of the reasons why so that he can get closure on the loss of his daughter. Thereby, your entire game takes place on the laptop in front of you. Inside the laptop, you'll have several different functions that you can play with. The first thing is the chat facility, and with that you'll be chatting back and forth with the father to paint more of a picture of what Jessika is up to and to kind of get some thoughts about things that might be important to her so that you can then use that to find files on her computer. You'll also be chatting to your co-workers, and whilst none of this necessarily affects the overall arching story, it will affect some of the narrative beats secondary to the main story and how other people perceive you. So you could be bouncing off ideas with colleagues about why Jessika has committed suicide and what was kind of making her angry or making her depressed. It could be that you're just having office banter. It really depends on how you want to go about doing the chats, and you can kind of pick up and leave some of that as well, depending on how thoroughly and in-depth your investigation is going to be. The main bulk of the game, though, takes place inside the encryption and file processing kind of section of the laptop. Inside here, all of Jessika's files are tagged, and your kind of key to all of this is reading through all of her files, be it text, picture, audio, video, sometimes calendars, ripped out news articles, things like that, that will paint a picture of who Jessika is. And the more you get a picture of who she is, the deeper kind of down the rabbit hole of Jessika's life you'll go. And then you start to make up your own conclusions as to why she has committed suicide. However, the way how these are put together means that you'll kind of find like some nanny moments before like you're supposed to, and then what it will do is it will gate some of the really like revealing plot point moments behind encryption walls that require you to have found a certain amount of tagged articles and viewed them or looked at them before like the next layer of encryption is taken away. So that's really interesting because it keeps you like a log of all the things that you found beforehand, so you can kind of go back and see just exactly how many things that you could have found versus what you did. You can go and revisit stuff. Certain tags will have different levels of encryptions for different files, so it always keeps the narrative dripping. And whilst some of the tags might be slightly obscure, what I did find was that I was able to constantly find that I was progressing and finding new and interesting information, even if I didn't necessarily find it in perhaps the order that the narrative would have expected me to work it out as. And that's fine because that leads you to be quite freeform in how you attack the game. It does mean that some of you will piece together some of the main arc of the story a little quicker than others, just depending on how you go about investigating. And that's some of the beauty of Jessika, but I can also see it kind of being some of the curse of Jessika as well. I was loving Jessika, and I thought I'd got down what was going on. And then there's something that changes halfway through the game. And I won't allude to it more than it being a change, but what it did do was it opens your eyes to what is going on in the second half of the game and where your investigation will turn to. And whilst it tries to throw some additional plot points that didn't work for me around your co-workers and can you trust them and all of that kind of stuff, the main focus on Jessika and the way how her investigation turns I found was ingenious, fascinating, unique, and taking on some stories and plot points and feelings that I've not really seen in video games before, and certainly not in this style. And for that, I think Jessika really needs to be commended and applauded. You will find, if you are sensitive, that there is lots of swearing, there is reference to drugs and alcohol. There is also inferences to rape and abuse. So trigger warnings up front if that does anything for you. And the actress that plays Jessika, who you see in all of the videos, is fascinating to watch. I found her acting super engrossing and really interesting because she's able to flick switches really quickly, and that's pretty damn good. The other thing I'd say as well is that she's primarily acting in German, and they've done an English voiceover. Now, the English voiceover is still effective and good, but you will have that narrative dissonance between what you're seeing Jessika doing on the screen versus what she's actually saying. So you can have German with subtitles. Some of the pictures will necessarily have German text written on them, but you can hover over it and you'll have the English stuff kind of translate up. It all kind of still worked really seamless for me, but that may be a bit of an off-put for some people, but that's the best that they can do on what is a indie, low-budget project that is punching well above its weight. So I don't want to speak too much more about it, but I did find the ending was extremely satisfying. The twist was really, really good. I felt like I was always making progress in the investigation, even though I could come across some dead ends at some times and be like, right, well, let's go back and try a different approach. And there was plenty of hidden depth to be found, and I thoroughly enjoyed myself. So that's Jessika. It's out now. There is a free demo available as well, and I will be doing a written review over on higherplanegames.com later this week. You guys will take care. Thanks for watching, and stay investigative here on Higher Plane Games. Higher Plane Games is part of the Higher Plane Network, a collection of media projects ran by me. If you like what you see and want to find out more, visit patreon.com/Higher Plane Network. Your support can make so much more possible, be that a like, a comment, a share, or a pledge. Thanks for watching.